Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Reyes, a realtor with A.R.E. Partners. I've been in real estate since 2013, serving the Chicagoland area, working both inner city and surrounding suburbs. Today, I bring you my client and friend, A.R.E., who has kindly accepted my invitation to interview her on our experience working together on the purchase of a beautiful 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath condo in Oak Park, and then selling that condo 3 months later. Anne-Marie, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. Can you start by telling everyone a little bit about yourself, maybe what you do for a living, what your hobbies are, or whatever you feel inspired to share?
Oh, sure. Thanks, Michael. Happy to be here. So, Anne Marie, like you said, and gosh, where to start? I've lived in Chicago for probably about 13 years now. I work as a consultant, specifically within the human resources field. Um, let's see, outside of work, I love to do a lot of improv. I've done some stand up in the past, love to hang out with friends, love to travel, love to shop. So, that's
Love that.
me.
I'm so glad you said the improv because I wasn't sure if you were going to mention that, but she's fantastic on improv and comedy. So if you ever get a chance, I'll have to plug your one of your shows on my Facebook so people can come see you.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
It'd be great. Well, again, thank you for wanting to do this. I thought that our experience working together was very unique. It was certainly a first for me in my business, and I think at the foundation, it's a story about finding home. And so let's start at the beginning, right? The first transaction we did was a purchase. So where were you moving from, and what made you want to buy?
Yeah. So um, I had lived in River North in Chicago for 7 years. And I had been thinking about buying for a few years just because I thought it would be a good investment. And so I had been on the lookout for it. And then when the pandemic happened and I was spending a lot of time at home in a studio apartment that I rented, and so I was feeling, even before the pandemic, I felt like it might have been feeling a little bit too small for me, but I just wasn't home that much. And so it was a great price and it was an easy walk to work for me. And so it made a lot of sense to stay there. But when the pandemic happened and I was at home a lot and I just really didn't have any space to work from home, and, I didn't even have a kitchen table.
Yeah,
So I thought, now might be a good time to make a move. And I thought, let me go ahead and buy something because I wanted to make that investment, take that next step forward in,
take
I
advantage
guess,
of
in
the
my
interest
life.
rates and
The interest rates were really good. The interest
yeah,
rates were fantastic at the time. And I didn't want to move into a rental and then move again. So I
absolutely.
thought, I thought now would be the right time to buy.
Absolutely. And I remember, giving you the referrals for to work with Linda to get your financing together, and definitely, doing the buyer consultation and kind of helping you through that process. And we found a fantastic condo. It was a beautiful condo, included parking. We got it at a really great price. The one thing I remember, we were under contract in January, but we had a delayed closing because the
Yeah.
seller was pregnant. Yeah.
Yes, we looked at the place in January and then it closed. I think it was like early May.
Yeah, I think I actually have the date. I think it's May 3rd or something of that
That
nature.
sounds right.
Yes, it was May 3rd. So you get your we make this happen. We get you a beautiful condo. You move in, and tell me about that first month or so for you. Like what was going through your thoughts and about your new home?
Yeah, so I was extremely excited to move in and have a lot more space. I was excited. I don't think we've mentioned yet that it's actually in Oak Park. So I
Yes.
was excited to move out to Oak Park and have just more space and easier access to nature. And then my best friend lives in Oak Park. So I was excited to be able to be closer to her. And really wanted that extra space from a guest bedroom perspective,
Mhm.
from an office perspective to work from home. Loved that it had a half bath as well. So I always
In
like
the
to be able
primary.
to, yeah, have that primary bathroom for myself and then a little half bath for
Mhm.
the guests. So I was excited about all of that. Um, moved
And
in.
moving from from River North to a suburb, I mean a very close suburb because it kind of feel like it's right next to Chicago, but it's
Yep.
still a suburb. It's a different lifestyle, it's a different beat. There's a different vibe for it. So you moved to Oak Park, and you thought that
Yes.
was the right fit.
Yes. Well, I thought it was the right fit, but you're right. So within probably the first month I was there, that started to sink in. It didn't have that same city vibe that I was used to. It was a lot more family oriented, and I'm single. So I think that's an important distinction. I can't tell you how many people found out where I was living and then said, "Oh, your kids are up at homes." And I was like, "Oh, I don't even have kids." So, um,
People assuming these things, right?
yeah, a lot of people like to make a lot of assumptions. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so it started to feel a little bit like maybe it wasn't the right location, started to feel a little bit like,
Too much space. I
too
remember being one of your
much
things.
space. Yeah, it just, to me, I felt started to feel overwhelmed by the amount of space. I think having gone from a studio apartment to a 3 bedroom just felt like a lot for me. And I'm a very neat person. I like to be organized. I like to be clean. And I felt like I was spending so much time even just swiffering the floors. So,
Absolutely.
um, yeah, so I started to maybe feel like it wasn't the right decision.
And then you called me. I'll never forget that when I got the call. Again, this is a unique situation. I mean, someone
Mhm.
just purchased their condo, their home, and moved in and settled in, and you tell me you're considering, how should I sell it? What are my options?
Right. Well, and I will say, Michael, I don't think I've ever shared this with you before, but I will say that as a first time buyer, anytime I feel like anybody, but specifically, I remember my mom even saying this. I feel like I said, well, what if I make a mistake? And I feel like so many people are like, and my mom certainly was like, well, you just sell it. And so I thought,
Mhm.
okay, well, you just sell it. Easy peasy.
Exactly, yeah. And that was not the initial reaction I had.
No, it was not the initial reaction you had at all. I mean, I guess I knew it wouldn't be as easy as just let's sell it, but
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
think it
I
was
was. I don't think I was fully aware of what all would go into a sale.
Absolutely. And then certainly, when we met and we talked about, I pulled all the data, we crunched all the numbers. Me as a broker, I never want my clients to potentially lose money, right? And that was my biggest concern. There's a stigma of something that you just purchased for a certain price, literally, 30, 60 days ago. And my concern was, anyone coming to see this is going to think, I'm not paying more than you paid. Right? You just bought this. And so I remember, meeting with you, and we actually went to go see a condo downtown to
We
discuss,
did.
the potential of moving.
Mhm. Yep.
And we crunched all the numbers, and I literally ultimately told you, wait a year. I certainly gave you all the information to make your own decision, but I
Mhm.
said, give it at least a year so that we don't have the stigma of having to resell it so quickly.
Right. Exactly.
And so you went, you digested, and we followed up, a few days later, and you're like, okay, let me just give it some time and we'll see how it goes. And so I said,
Right.
okay, we'll give it that. And I think you gave it maybe another week or two, maybe 3.
No, I think it was like a month.
Was it a month? Okay. Okay. So it was a month. And
Hmm.
then I got the call. Let's do it.
I do feel like you certainly gave me pause. I thought I wanted to sell it. And then when you gave me all of that great information, all of the comps, all of the numbers, the scenarios, I thought that was fantastic because it was a really data driven way to make a decision. And so that certainly did give me pause and allowed me to take a look at my finances and figure out what might be the best decision for me. But then ultimately, I decided that for me, it wasn't going to be a data driven decision and it wasn't going to be a financial decision. I just wanted to move for my own happiness.
And that's the most important part. And this is a side funny moment though, but the storyline is similar to what just happened in the new series of Sex and the City.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
and thinking about it now in hindsight, I would have wished I would have been like, let's just sell it. However, again, I think I wanted to be guarded, and I'm glad you mentioned me giving you the data, because that's very important for me when I work with a
Yes.
client, is to give you the information and make an informed decision.
Well, and I actually, Michael, I was glad that you told me to wait
Okay.
because it helped me to like really continue to think about what I was doing and to make sure that I was uh, firm about my decision,
Absolutely.
because of course, just wanted to sell it and wanted to move forward because I thought I had made a mistake and I wanted to just fix the mistake that I made and move on.
Yeah.
But certainly, given the implications, especially the financial ones, I needed to know that it was the right decision for me and that I wasn't going to regret it. And so,
Absolutely.
certainly, providing me with the data was awesome. And it was exactly what I needed to know, but it wasn't enough for me. And so, I
Mhm.
think initially, when you showed me the numbers and you showed me the data, I thought, ooh, maybe this isn't the right decision. But
Yeah.
then when I sat with it for a while, I thought, you know what? No, my priority is my happiness and my priority is my peace of mind. And I just want to move forward and
Yeah.
life is short. So it helped
Yeah.
me to be resolute in the decision that I ultimately made.
That's so important to say, and I'm so glad that you came to that. And I remember, looking at the data, I knew that there were some. I gave you scenarios, and the one scenario that I did feel confident was at the price you purchased it at, and I knew that the value was at least $12,000 to $13,000 more than what you paid for it. And so I was certainly, you crunch the numbers, you rely on the data, but when you put property on the market, what is your home worth to someone else? Your home is only worth what someone's willing to pay for it, right? I did know it could appraise out for what it ended up selling for. And I was pleased that my scenario worked out because we ended up listing it, and you did a fantastic job being a great seller. And we did a little virtual staging with the artwork, which I was really pleased with how that turned out. And then ultimately we listed it, and we got it. Tell us how quickly did we get under contract?
Was it 11 days,
It
Michael? It
wasn't.
was very quick, especially because I remember that you had told me when we looked at the data and we looked at the comps, Oak Park for condos, it wasn't as hot of a market as it was for single family homes. And I think what it was around, was it 90 or 100 days was the average
It was
marketing
70 to 90
spend?
days at the time, maybe, or even
Okay.
100. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was sort of like, hopeful, but certainly strapped in for a much longer wait time. And then when it sold within, or we got an offer, I guess I should say we got an offer within 11 days, I think it was. I was like
Absolutely.
so happy.
And it was an offer for full ask,
Yes.
and it was listed for 13,000 or 11,000 over what you paid for it.
I think yes, it was 11 or 12,000 over what I paid for it. Yes.
Yes.
And I would say, Michael, as well, like you did an amazing job. Like just the energy that you brought to the open houses, the energy and support that you gave me as I was starting to go down a path that probably most people wouldn't do.
Yeah.
And then of course you got the place sold and you were telling me what your strategy was. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. Like when you said you were sending out mailers to renters in the area, I was like, wow, that's just beyond what I ever thought a real estate agent would do. So I thought you did a very, very thorough and an amazing job. And I do think I did my part too, but I do feel that the reason it sold for more than what I paid and in as quickly as a time frame as it did sell in, I do attribute that to you. So
Well,
I really
thank you. It was definitely an honor to work with you on both sides of the transaction, and now know that you're back in River North.
I am. I'm back in River North, yes, about 2 blocks from where I was before, and I am very happy.
And that's the question, like, are you happy? And that's what matters.
Yes, very
That's
much.
so great. Thank you so much for sharing that. And again, it was just an honor to support you in both transactions, and I'm sure we'll have many more.
We will.
Well, Anne Marie, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It's a pleasure, and thank you so much again.
You're so welcome. Happy to do it.
All right. Well, again, if you need support with your real estate needs, you know how to reach me either on showcase-chicago.com, email, text, or call, all the social media outlets that you could think of. So talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye, Anne Marie.